Hello everyone, welcome to SplitSecond. My name is Sequeira and I will be taking you through today's match. Before starting, we at SplitSecond want to thank everyone for your constant support and suggestions on all social media. We also have a giveaway from the LGS where we play at, Arena Porto from Portugal. They were super cool and gave us a DCI promo cryptic command, which we will randomly offer one of our patrons on April 3rd. Not only can you help us grow by becoming a patron, but you also have a chance to get this card for free. This week, we are bringing you me piloting one of my favorite brews, a staxy combat value engine Aurelia the Warleader, Luis Brandão with one of his favorites, the Gitrog Monster, our friend and guest Francisco Pessoa with his Animar, and finally Baal trying a control/combo Niv-Mizzet Parun. Let's check our starting hands. Baal is the one starting this week. He mulliganed once and kept a hand with 3 lands, Arid Mesa, Mana Confluence, and an island. He has a Grafdigger's Cage and Curse Totem for hate, a Mental Misstep, and a Treasonous Ogre, which is a Nombo with a totem. I had to mulligan down to 6. My hand also has 3 lands, Plateau, Clifftop Retreat, and a Mountain. Thalia is good to slow Luis down if he gets an early Gitrog just because she cuts value from his fetch lands, and the Cratermaker can take out the Animar if necessary. Tectonic Giant is an awesome way to abuse Aurelia's double combat with either card selection or more damage. The Boros Charm has no place here, so I send it to the bottom of my library. Luis kept going with the 3-lander thing we're seeing. He has Castle Garenbrig, a Forest, and a Verdant Catacombs for the black mana he's missing. He has Devoted Druid for ramp, Rinsan Zenith for maybe getting rid of hate pieces, a Golgari Grave Troll to dig through his deck with the Gitrog Monster, and a Scourge Familiar as his discard outlet. So I also had to mulligan down to 6 and also had 3 lands to play with, Command Tower, Scalding Tarn, and his own Verdant Catacombs. He has Wall of Roots for ramp, although no way to cast Animar on turn 2. Phyrexian Revoker is there to stop our BS, Swan Song to protect himself or stop mean shenanigans, and the Shared Summons is going to the bottom of Pessoa's library. Time to get this show going. Baal starts by playing Arid Mesa. He cracks it for a Volcanic Island and immediately plays Grafdigger's Cage. Hate on turn 1. My turn is simple, just a basic mountain to demotivate Blood Moons from Baal. I pass. Luis drops a Verdant Catacombs on his turn and passes. Similar to Luis, Pessoa puts Scalding Tarn in play and lets Baal get to business. Baal plays an island and passes. The game is feeling a bit tactical, or maybe just a bit slow. I play my Plateau before also passing. I didn't want to show my Cratermaker right off the bat because that might scare Pessoa off from casting his Animar. During my end step, Luis cracks his fetch for a basic swamp, also respecting the quadruple moons from me and Baal. On his turn, Luis plays a basic forest and casts a Devoted Druid. He goes to his end step and Pessoa cracks the Tarn for a basic island. On his turn, Pessoa immediately plays and cracks Verdant Catacombs for a basic forest after seeing Baal's basic island. Fear the Moons! He plays the Wall of Roots and passes. On his turn, Baal plays a Mana Confluence and immediately slams his Curse Totem, which he had planned to use to shut down creatures on the board. Both Luis and Pessoa are insulted by having to play a bit more honestly, but the spell resolves. Baal passes. Now that I am playing, I find and put an Ancient Tomb into play. I decide to lose 2 life and cast the Tectonic Giant, looking to get some value now that the table is slowed down. I pass. Luis plays an untapped Castle Garenbrig. He preemptively casts Collector Oof, which could also be used to bop Baal, before passing to Pessoa. Pessoa untaps. He plays a Command Tower and casts his Animar, looking to hit Baal in the face as well. He passes. On his turn, Baal looks at the table. He plays a Cephalid Colosseum and, not interested in taking a billion damage just because he's putting us under control, he decides to sweep in with a Pyroclasm, killing Animar and Luis's creatures. He then takes 2 damage and casts Merchant Scroll, looking for and finding a blink of an eye, just in case he needs to deal with something else. We also get a feeling that his own Curse Totem might be blocking him from something, however, we're not sure what. Baal passes to me. I start my turn by attacking Luis with a Giant, knowing that he has both Ad Nauseam and Necropotence in his deck. The Giant triggers and I exile the top 2 cards of my library, finding a Faithless Looting and a Remorseful Cleric. On my second main phase, I play a basic Plains. Then, I choose to cast the Looting, mostly because the Cursed Totem completely shuts down my Cleric. I discard the Kratom Maker and, after thinking for a while, a Harsh Mentor, which I know is also good versus Luis. I cast a Talisman of Conviction and then a Thalia Heretic Cathar, losing 2 life for the Ancient Tomb. I pass. Luis plays the Lotus Petal on his first main phase. He also casts a Noose Constrictor, which enters the battlefield tapped. He passes. On his turn, Pessoa plays a tapped Gaia's Cradle. He is also forced to pass with all the hate in play right now. On his turn, Baal plays a blocker and the reason why he might have gotten the blink of an eye, a tapped Treasonous Ogre. We all smile but otherwise see it enter the battlefield unscathed. He lets me get to my turn. Now that I'm playing, I put a Clifftop Retreat onto the battlefield. Then, I cast my Aurelia the Warleader, ready and willing to get some damage in while losing 2 life to my Ancient Tomb. I go to combat. I attack Luis with all my creatures, triggering both the Giant and Aurelia. The Giant deals 3 damage to each of my opponents and my creature deals an additional 9 to Luis. On my second combat, I choose to attack Baal instead. My idea is that I don't know if Luis has access to either Ad Nauseam or Necropotence right now, and Baal having a Treasonous Ogre means my 12 damage is 4 less mana he can generate on a whim. In total, Baal and Luis lost 15 and Pessoa lost 6 life. I pass to Luis. Luis plays a tapped Marsh Flats. He then casts Dark Ritual and cracks the Lotus Petal and taps his Forest to activate his Castle Garenbrig, casting a tapped Gitrog Monster with 2 green mana floating. He loses his floating mana and passes to Pessoa. Pessoa gets to playing and casts a tapped Vizier of the Menagerie. He looks at the top card of his library and passes. Baal passes his turn after untapping, all but ready for me. I untap. Then, I go to combat and Baal preemptively casts a Kick Blink of an Eye on Aurelia, losing 2 life to his lands and drawing a card. I attack Baal with the Giant and Brandão with the Thalia. The Giant triggers and I exile a Plains and a Suitor Priest to it. I decide to play the land instead of the Hate piece. Then, with a plan in mind, I cast a Krenko Teen Street Kingpin followed by a Spirit of the Labyrinth to cut off Luis's ability to abuse the Gitrog. I lose 2 life to the Ancient Tomb and I am ready to interact with whatever comes. I pass to Luis. On Luis's upkeep, the Gitrog Monster triggers and he floats 1 black mana before sacrificing his tapped Swamp. Luis draws a card. When he gets to his draw step, he can't draw any other cards because of the Spirit. He plays a tapped Bayou and passes. On his turn, Pessoa plays a tapped Animar and passes to Baal, who rightfully complains I'm reaping the value from his early hate plays more than he is. Because he's behind, Baal decides to cast a Ponder during his main phase, just to try and find a way out of this mess. He reorders his next draws, annoyed that he can't draw one right now, and goes to his end step. I flash in a Hushwing Griff as an additional nail on everyone's coffin. Luis cracks his Marsh Flats to get a draw from the Gitrog Monster and gets himself a basic Swamp. On my turn, I untap and go to combat, which everyone is funny about because they expected Aurelia to return for more beats. I am forced to attack mostly Baal with my 3 non-flying creatures, seeing that Luis has a 6/6 Death Touch creature and Pessoa has a wall. Baal complains that I always kill him first and then I regret taking him down because of his tax pieces. And I reiterate I'm not currently trying to kill him, I'm just trying to get more damage in. Krenko and a Giant trigger. I resolve Krenko's ability first, giving him a +1/+1 counter and putting 2 goblins on the battlefield. Then, the Giant resolves and I find a Chandra Torch of Defiance and an Armageddon. Everyone is expecting me to cast Armageddon. Instead, I'm counting my mana with Chandra and conclude it's not enough for what I want. Dreading a counterspell, I go to my original plan and cycle a Decree of Annihilation, destroying all lands on the battlefield. This would also lead to the Gitrog Monster dying during Luis's upkeep. Because my board is absurdly ahead right now and I would win in about 2 or 3 combat cycles, everyone decides to surrender to the Boros deck. Thanks for following us through this match, everyone. Combat and Hate take this round. We'd like to start the credits by thanking our current patrons and especially Izanagi, Carneiro, Troy, Stefan, TJ Rapp, and Mike Purr, our stack breakers. We also want to thank Arena Porto for supporting us with the DCI Cryptic command that we will be randomly giving away between our patrons this March 15. Support us by becoming a patron and a chance to get this card. If you want to go through other Commander adventures, click one of the videos on the right. If you want to talk with us about our games or other EDH related matters, join us on Discord. Come join us again next week for our monthly special with new commanders and more decisive plays. See you then!